That girl state.
Good evening. Welcome to the Concord Township Board of Trustees meeting April 16th, 2025. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Great. Mr. Patriarch, can you please call roll?
Mr. McIntosh.
Present.
Mr. Dondorfer.
Present.
Mrs. Lucci.
Present. Moving on to the approval of minutes.
Madam Chair, I move to approve the March 31st staff meeting minutes.
And I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Madam Chair, I will make a motion to approve the April 2nd, 2025 regular trustees meeting minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Moving on to elected officials reports. We will start with our fiscal officer, Mr. John Patriarca.
Thank you, Mrs. Lucci. No material updates from the fiscal office tonight that are time sensitive. There are a few items on the agenda that call for POs that we'll be looking for favorable votes from the board, which Mr. Rose, I'm sure, will cover in depth in his report, as he always does. Outside of that, the fiscal office continues to work with Administrator Rose and the board in terms of developing short and long-term budgetary plans for the township. I think it's great that we've developed a proactive approach to keeping our ducks in a row and trying to establish the framework for 12-month, 36-month, 60-month plans for the township. So we continue that work and just factoring in some variable options, some variable outcomes that are outside of our control, and just making sure that we stay flexible and that we plan for all outcomes that are slightly outside of our control. So that's been the update from the fiscal office. Also had the privilege of attending the Easter egg hunt at Fire Station 1 last weekend, which was great. Saw Administrator Rose and Mrs. Lucci there. It was fantastic. And I would also like to wish the board and everyone present a happy Easter. And that completes my report.
Thank you very much. Moving on to our trustees' reports. We'll start with Mr. McIntosh.
Thank you. It hasn't been a very busy week or two since our last meeting. I've had a couple questions about what's happening with the process at Quail Hollow. I did have a resident asked about the Crossroads, the old daycare across from the Red Hawk there on Auburn Road. Spend a little bit of time explaining the process there and how that came to be. Continuing to advocate on behalf of townships as far as state budget and some of that stuff, watching what's going on down in the State House. Not a lot of some of the things that I'm really concerned are really on the table as far as change yet, but they would be changes in the coming years. So that's something I'm keeping an eye on. But other than that, I don't have any other business on the township report, and I do want to wish everybody a happy Easter.
All right. Thank you very much. Moving on to Mr. Dondorfer.
Thank you, Mrs. Lucci. Just had a couple calls. I was not at the last meeting, but I did have a couple calls since then. I know we're working through a few zoning violation issues that some residents continue to raise concern with. We're working with Heather on that. Would like to remind the residents that our road improvement projects will be beginning mid to late May, so make sure you're patient. You know, if you come upon those road projects, there's a lot of work that's going to be going into improving the roads within Concord, not only township roads, but county roads. So make sure you're aware of that. I would like to say that I did get some calls and noticed myself, it seems to be there's more of a presence with the sheriff's office patrols in Concord Township since, our levy win and the additional patrols being in the township. So that's good. I noticed over the past weekend on Saturday, I was made aware of a situation. Since there's additional manpower in the township, they're running some traffic enforcement initiatives in Concord and other areas. And one of the deputies had made a traffic stop for an equipment violation in the area of 44 and 90. And upon conducting the traffic stop, they discovered over 2 pounds of methamphetamine multiple guns in the car as well as bulletproof armor, and the suspect was taken into custody, and those drugs, thankfully taken off the streets. So there's a lot of good law enforcement going on since our levy initiative with the additional manpower. With that, I would also like to wish everybody a happy Easter and enjoy your family.
All right, thank you. Yeah, it's been great having extra manpower on the road. I mean, I definitely notice it, just one extra, and I know at our last meeting, the sheriff's office told us about all the stops they're making, and they're finding a lot of stops. People are having weapons, and so it's a little different environment now, but that is good news to hear, and I thank the officers for responding and catching that. This past weekend, I did have the pleasure of attending an Ohio Township Board meeting where we talked about some of the issues I think you were referring to, House Bill 96, which is the operating budget, and how those certain provisions could specifically affect townships. Some examples include the LGF, the Local Government Fund, some cemetery grant kind of stuff. We also talked about strengthening our County Township Association, and I know we've been talking about that. Very important to stay engaged with our county, and we're looking as the OTA on how to strengthen those across the state, so very important. I also spoke with a resident on South Meadow who had some issues regarding sewer issues that have been managed very well by the county. Thanks to Mr. Rose for following up and getting more information. Things are fine. The resident thanks us for our help on following up with that as well. The head of the Homeowners Association in Noble Ridge reached out. They're having their annual meeting next month and invited us to go. I know Mr. Dondorfer is going to attend that. And I just I thanked him for stepping up to represent his development. And it's very important to stay engaged with your HOAs. Many important things come out of those meetings. When you have a cohesive group, it could preserve property values, improves your quality of life, and fosters a sense of community. Also gives you a voice in governance and act as a liaison with local government. So very important to stay engaged with your HOA. I also want to thank another resident on Page for raising concerns about speeding on his street. I know our service department did put up a speed limit sign, and he was very grateful. And we are calling sheriff about some extra patrol in that area. Last, I also enjoyed attending the Easter egg party. My grandson got 5 eggs, and it was very fun. Recreation department did great. Appreciate the fire department for hosting. I met a lot of people there who they live in Concord, and they had their children in from various other municipalities in our nice little fire station. So we put on a nice show. So thank you to everybody. And thank you to Joe, who donates the eggs every year himself and fills them. I can't remember the number or how many years, but what a great guy. We are so lucky to have Joe. So thank you, Joe. And with that, I also would like to wish everybody a happy Easter. Enjoy family, friends, and hopefully some nice weather. And so we will move on. Mr. Rose, our administration department.
Thank you, Mrs. Lucci, members of the board, Mr. Patriarca, members of the audience, good evening. I'll start with some agenda items that are on the agenda. Item B is a resolution 2025 tax 07. This authorizes us to participate in the annual ODOT SALT contract. This is actually for the fall, winter of 25 going into 2026, but that has to be in so we can be part of the better pricing through the state bid with ODOT. Item C is a vote to approve the service department's summer hour schedule that they do every year. Item D is a vote to promote Rachel Lamb to a full-time 30-hour-a-week employee. Item E is a vote to update the employee handbook. This particular update adds the provision that will create a leave donation program. So if it allows an employee to donate a portion of their earned sick time to a fellow employee who might be going through a situation where they have depleted their sick time, it gives us the ability to voluntarily donate time to a needy employee in that regard. That was modeled off of the existing county program and several other Lake County communities. We've looked at them, and Cindy did a great job putting this together. It was vetted through the law director, and I encourage passage on that change. Item F is a purchase order to Grade Line Incorporated. That is for $27,730. That is to replace the stormwater culvert on Little Mountain Road. This is being done in preparation of hopefully resurfacing that road a little bit later during the road construction season. And that $27,730 will be reimbursed by Lake County Stormwater as part of our stormwater funds. And again, this is being done now in anticipation of resurfacing Little Mountain Road later this season.
So we're doing that regardless of whether we're doing the road?
Yes.
Okay.
And then item G is a purchase order to Bradford Fire Apparatus, and that is in the amount of $77,000. That is for the purchase of a used fire engine. This vote also authorizes our fire chief, Chief Sabo, to sign for the engines for the paperwork upon satisfactory on-site inspection. If you recall, 1313 is dead and completely out of service, no longer able to be returned to service. And we have been shopping for a new engine. This is something that was budgeted for in the budget cycle, and they found what they believe to be a good engine. It's currently in Southern Illinois through a broker. And so we've done lots of discussions with the broker. A lot of pictures have been exchanged, questions have been answered. So the next step is to go there, but if they like it, they want the ability to purchase it while they're there.
Right.
And make arrangements to get it back so that we have a full complement of engines for our fire department. So I encourage a positive vote on those items that I mentioned. Moving on to other items, I continue to track the pending sale of the Quail Hollow Hotel. So now that the court has issued their order approving the sale of the hotel, I anticipate the sale should be completed within the next 30 days or so to finish all the required paperwork, title work, and that stuff to get it all done. So we should have a new owner. We should have a new owner of the hotel by this time next month. I did get an update on our congressional submittal for community project funding. We've cleared the first set of hurdles, and so our package now moves to the appropriate subcommittee for consideration. That is very good news, getting past that first hurdle. So very excited to have that move forward. Reminder to everyone that the water storage tank at Cryle and Hunting Lake, you'll see crews that are there. It looks like they're putting up some type of scaffolding, and they'll end up wrapping it with some type of material, and that is being prepped for painting. The Auburn Road Waterline project is back at it, and crews are installing the water line on Auburn Road. They're utilizing temporary signals, so please allow yourself some extra time if you're in that area between Stonewick and Ravenna. They are still tracking to complete the project by the end of June. And while it's chilly, Mother Nature seems to be cooperating so that they can get their work done. We've received a lot of good handful of calls here at Town Hall. NOPEC recently pushed out some information regarding natural gas. We have posted that information on our website along with the links to the NOPEC documents that were pushed out. NOPEC is also offering online seminars, information sessions. One of them was today, and there's another one scheduled on April 30th. Those links to watch those are on our website so that you can virtually attend those from the comfort of your own home. So I encourage folks to look at that. And so if anybody needs information about NOPEC, as folks call us, we're guiding them to the information that NOPEC has, and that seems to be working just fine. So it's on our website. Next coffee with the administrators tomorrow morning at 9 at the community center. So I look forward to seeing folks there and chatting about the events of the day. And then finally, I would like to wish everyone a very happy Easter. That concludes my report. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Lots going on.
Yeah.
So with that, audience portion is next. Seeing we have none, we will move to old business. Seeing we have none, we will move to new business.
Madam Chair, Madam Chair, move to approve the March financial report.
And I will second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye. Madam Chair, I will make a motion to approve resolution 2025-07 authorizing participation in the ODOT Winter Road Salt Contract.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
I move to approve service department begin summer hours 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. on May 5th, 2025 and continue until September 26th, 2025.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye. Make a motion to promote Rachel Lamb to full-time, 30 hours a week, program coordinator for Concord Recreation Department effective April 21st, 2025.
I will second.
Any discussion?
Rachel is a
She
rec
makes me
department
smile.
rock star.
Yep. Just seeing her name makes me smile.
Yeah.
And-
Great asset.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great asset to the rec department.
All right, all in favor?
Aye. Move to approve the update to the employee handbook as outlined by Administrator Rose regarding the donation of sick pay.
And I will second.
Any discussion?
Nope.
All in favor?
Aye. I will make a motion to approve the PO to Grade Line Incorporated in the amount of $27,730 for the culvert replacement on Little Mountain Road.
And I will second.
Any discussion?
A repair that's needed. I actually took a
Yes.
look at it this weekend.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
You're very
And
close.
hopefully we get the road done with it.
Yeah.
That'll be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Looking forward to that.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'll move to approve PO to Bradford Fire Apparatus in the amount of $77,000 and granting signature authority to Fire Chief Matt Sabo.
And I will second that motion.
Any discussion?
I think Mr. Rose made a good case, but we are without a reserve, and that means it's tight orders over there if something goes down for maintenance. So beyond urgent, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think just to add a little context to the fire engine, it's not a situation where you could just head down to Classic and buy a new engine. So
Right.
True.
I think we're looking at somewhere in the neighborhood of a 36-month lead time and a
Yeah.
all-in cost of over $1 million for a brand new engine. And so right now there's an immediate need. To satisfy that need, we'll continue to monitor the fleet, but certainly the need and that void needs to be filled immediately. And with a 2 to 3 year lead time on a new engine, again, it's not something that you can just acquire a new engine down the street at Classic. So certainly the chief and deputy chief have been hard at work vetting and searching out potential replacements for 13. So hopefully it goes well.
Right.
I think to add to that too, this was also part of a conversation we all had deeply in appropriations to
Correct.
the report that Mr. Patriarca made during his elected official report, where he discussed planning over multiple years, is that we took into consideration the lead time, the dollars now, and the urgent need, and something that's been a lot of thought and energy has been put into this plan.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
keep our-
and I guess while we're on the topic, I guess it's appropriate to add context to that as well in terms of evaluating the fleet that's currently established within the fire department and what it really needs to look like in the next 3 to 5 years, and how we appropriately layer not just the cost of those apparatus and those vehicles, but how it logistically works with the fleet and the budget and how that meshes together. And so, yeah, that's certainly something that we discussed at length. We continue to discuss and evaluate all options that are on the table. And so, I think it's important to note that it has and will continue to be an important topic.
Yeah, there are many layers to the strategy of maintaining the fleet.
Yep.
There is.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, moving on to future meetings and announcements. Mr. Patriarca?
Yes, April 21st at 3 p.m., staff meeting here at Town Hall. April 25th at 9 a.m., Arbor Day ceremony at the Community Center. On May 6th at 7 p.m., there'll be a zoning commission meeting at Town Hall. And on May 7th from 5 to 6 p.m., trustee office hours in the conference room, followed by the trustee meeting at 6 p.m. at Town Hall.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you, everyone. That concludes our meeting for this evening.
Good evening.